There's a question some people are afraid to ask. Can you drink and smoke at the end of life? The answer is hell yes. Let's talk about it. So hear me out. I am not promoting someone to drink or smoke or even use drugs. Obviously, I'm a sober person. But here's the thing. Hospice is about comfort. Hospice is about quality of life. If someone has smoked their whole entire life, and that's even why they're dying, right? They have lung cancer now. They have COPD. If they have smoked their whole entire life, now is not the time for them to stop. Unless they want to. Now, granted, most people are going to be on oxygen, so you cannot be on oxygen and smoke. Period. End of story. But you can take off the oxygen, keep it here, get very far away from the oxygen, and smoke a cigarette. Nothing is wrong with that. And in fact, as a hospice nurse, I've had many families come up to me and go, will you please tell him or her she can't smoke? And then I'm like, sorry guys, I'm not going to do that. They can smoke. And then the patient's like, even the nurse says I can smoke. As long as they're safe about it, let them smoke, baby. Let them smoke it up until they can't smoke anymore. That is my opinion and most people's opinion on hospice. Drinking's the same thing. Even if someone is dying of liver cirrhosis from drinking, they can still drink. And I've seen many people do it. Now is not the time to get them to stop drinking. Now, if they want to, or they physically can't, or they're not even talking about it, no, they don't have to drink. But this is not the time to try to get them to quit alcohol. One, abruptly stopping drinking can cause a lot of problems. And two, again, hospice is about comfort and quality of life. And if they want to do that, again, as long as they are safe, they can do it. Many family members, I think, feel guilty about allowing their loved one to continue to hurt themselves. That's how they look at it. Hence why I'm doing this video, to let you know that this is the time to give full permission for each of you to be fully yourself. Now, if it hurts you too much to be around that, then you have to protect yourself too. Then you have to say, you know what, you can do what you want, but I can't be a part of it. It hurts too much. That's also okay for you to do. You don't have to be around for it. But also, if you can get in the mentality of, you know what, I love them and this is how they're going to choose to live out the rest of their life, I personally give you permission to be there and do that. Again, it's a fine line, right? Because the person still has to be safe. So if they're being safe about it, I have no problem with it. And I will always educate people who are smoking to never be even close to anywhere near the oxygen. And if someone's drinking, they have to be safe. They can't be driving. They can't hurt people, all the things. Not only can people drink and smoke if they want to, they can also eat whatever they want to, or not eat if they don't want to. But if someone has been on some kind of like diabetic diet for the past 20 years, but now they want to eat all the cake in the world, let them. They can eat all the things, okay? They can eat all the things. They can eat all the cake. They can eat the salty fries. They can get the burger, especially if they want to. They can get the milkshake. If they don't want, that's okay too, right? So it's like some people are not going to want to eat and drink. Some people, before they get to that spot, they want to eat everything. They want to eat all the burgers they haven't been able to eat, all the sodas they want to drink. It is the time to live it up. Whatever they want, they get. Again, as long as they're safe. Okay, so this next part of the video is I'm going to actually take some of the questions that I've gotten about this topic from followers and answer them here. At Nona3Blessings says, what if your loved one is not cognitively capable of making their own decisions? As caregivers who are the DPOA, which means the person who's legally allowed to make decisions for this person who can no longer make their own decisions, they had a friend who stopped her husband from eating and drinking. He was in a nursing home. He had Alzheimer's. If this friend was her husband's DPOA, which they usually are, that is completely legal. So because the person can no longer make decisions for themselves, they usually have a DPOA, meaning their relative or someone, someone tied to them who's legally now their decision maker. They have the authority, so they can basically do whatever they want because they have the authority now to make decisions for this person. So yes, that is completely legal. At Sherry Salt says, do people on hospice with cancer who barely eat suddenly start to frantically eat? I would say no. I mean, anything can happen on hospice. Nothing is that weird to me. I mean, specifically if the person on hospice isn't wanting to eat, but then suddenly they do want a bunch of food, go for it. Anything is possible. I don't usually see that. That could be considered the rally, meaning they are looking close to death, then suddenly they perk up and they're really, really hungry. Then they may die shortly after. That could be the rally. Generally speaking, I would say no, but also it's okay if they do. Do whatever the person wants. Again, as long as they're safe about it. If they want to frantically eat, let them. This next question is really great. Romero Cabinets 25 says, what if we blend food? Can that reduce aspiration pneumonia? So yes and no. There's a certain consistency that can help prevent aspiration pneumonia. If you don't know what that is, it's when someone, usually their muscles right here start to weaken and swallowing can be very difficult. And the first thing you start choking on would be liquids, which is, most people think it's the other way around. And you can get little particles of food, little particles of water in your lungs. They settle and then they cause pneumonia. So it's called aspiration pneumonia. So yes, blending food, making the food and the blended food a little thicker, kind of like nectar consistency or like pudding consistency, can help because it's easier to swallow. But also, generally speaking, if someone's getting towards the end of life and they're having issues swallowing, you can tell because they will start hiding food in their mouth or they'll cough every time they swallow. If someone's doing that, that can be a big indicator that they're having issues with swallowing. So sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, hence why you never want to force feed anyone, especially if they can't really tell you, I'm hungry or thirsty, don't give it to me, or do give it to me. You can always offer and try, but if you notice they're having a lot of difficulties, that would be an indicator to you to kind of back off and let the natural progression take place. You never want to force it because that will cause aspiration pneumonia. At Jen Watson, this is a great question too. When they can no longer eat or drink, do we stop offering food or ice chips? I would say no. Now, you can always offer food, water, especially if they're awake. Now, if they say no, listen to them. Don't do any of the whole, oh, come on, it's your favorite juice. No. Do you want it? No. No problem. If they do want it, you have to make sure they are sitting up fully in bed and their head is not at 90. 90 would be great, but even like 65 would be okay. So they can get that direct swallow and make it a little easier for them to swallow if they do want something, but they're still kind of weak. If they can no longer swallow, but you think they still want something or they're saying they do, you can always do ice chips. You can always do popsicles and kind of just put it on their lips. Sometimes just like moistening their mouth a little bit with a popsicle, having that like fruity juice on their tongue and their mouth can also help. Always offer. If they want it, great. If they don't, that's okay too. If they want it, but they can't really do it, you can sit them up really high and give them stuff like ice chips or like little popsicles, anything to kind of like moisten their mouth. Might taste good and feel good. What's the message of this video? Hospice is about comfort and quality of life. So let your loved one on hospice live the life they want. As long as they're safe, they can smoke, they can drink, they can eat whatever they want, they can sleep all the time, they cannot sleep if they don't want to. As long as they are comfortable and having a good quality of life, that's the main focus. You guys, I'm excited to announce that my journal is officially out, the Nothing to Fear journal. It's an easy how-to plan for the end of life. And it goes with my book. So if you read my book and you're thinking, now what, Julie? This is now what? The Nothing to Fear journal, an easy guide to help you plan for the end of life. If you're interested, you can get it at hospicenursejulie.com or just click the link in the description.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody just calm down!